Hello y'all, this is RJ here in the Shenandoah Heritage Market here at Crossroads Country Store here in the Shenandoah Valley. If you're over here near Dayton, Virginia, Harrisonburg, Virginia, this is a place you got to stop by. My favorite store in the area. Love coming here as often as possible. Good folks, a lot of great merchandise. Definitely worth stopping by. So we're gonna go walk through, go talk to my friend Matt who is here. And there's a lot of neat little shops, through here. Also a neat little place for a little country bake shop right here. Little antiques. Love coming through here. Gonna walk through here. This place just opened up. Again, this is Crossroads Country Store. I always love coming through here whenever in the Shenandoah Valley.
Good morning.
Always good to see you, Matt.
Good to see you, Rob. Yeah, love your channel. Love what you guys do.
Well, thank you.
We're in the same mission.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed coming here for years. Yeah. And I was just mentioning, whenever I'm around here, this is a place everybody's got to stop by and visit.
Well, thank you for the shout out. We sincerely appreciate it.
And so this is, once again, Crossroads Country Store, and
yes,
the Harrison, it's called the Shenandoah Heritage.
Yes, we're located inside the Shenandoah Heritage Market, right off historic Route 11, right off Interstate 81. We've been in business for about 30 years. My father started this place back in the early 90s. I grew up in here. I grew up around all this history, and it's become a personal passion for myself, but also a mission and a purpose for us to teach truthful Southern history.
Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. It's my honor.
And you know, there's been a few times where I've been here in the past, and folks have just wandered in, and we've had these great discussions. You've had great discussion with them.
Oh yeah.
You have been an example to so many folks.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely encouraging too. I run into a lot of individuals who are encouraging. You know, people who are happy that someone is displaying this stuff in the public and not ashamed of it, and not apologetic, because we don't have anything to be sorry for. This is our history. This is our heritage, and it's something that we need to be proud of. You know, especially when you're considering the legacies of both Lee and Jackson, great godly Christian men.
Well, because you're actually right here in the Shenandoah Valley. In fact, just south of here is at Lee Jackson Park.
Yes.
And it looks like you're wearing that shirt today.
Fairfield, yeah. Shout out to Lee Jackson Memorial Park and Lee Jackson Day. Lexington SCV camp that puts that on every year. It's such a wonderful, wonderful time. Family event. So to all the viewers, if you're out of state, come to Virginia. Come to the park. It's really a great site.
Oh, absolutely. So this place is, I mentioned this in Harrisonburg, but kind of in Dayton. Is this more considered Dayton?
Well, we're
Virginia,
on the south end of Harrisonburg. Right to the west of us is Dayton, Virginia. Yeah, it's just surrounding us. There are quite a few battles. You had the Battle of Cross Keys, Port Republic. To the east with Stonewall Jackson, that's where General Turner Ashby was killed at the Battle of Harrisonburg. Just north of us, 15 miles or so, you have the Battle of Newmarket, very historical site. South of us, we have Waynesboro. There was the Battle of Waynesboro. And then there's Lee Jackson Memorial Park at Fairfield, and south of that is historic Lexington, Virginia, VMI, Washington Lee University, the burial place of both Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson. So yeah, we're surrounded by history. I mean, I've been engulfed with this stuff my entire life. So yeah.
You're very fortunate. I tell you what, I unwind. I feel at home, comforted when I come out here to the Shenandoah Valley. I love seeing these places out here. Such a historic location.
Yeah.
And Harrisonburg, well, just north of here, like I said, in Harrisonburg, there is a Confederate cemetery in, is it Woodbine Cemetery, is it?
Yeah, Woodbine Cemetery. There are a few hundred Confederate graves actually around the obelisk there in the center of town. Some really cool history, some interesting history that your viewers probably don't know. This is local history. In the early 1900s, the Confederate veterans held a reunion with the Union veterans that had traveled down from north, and they came to Harrisonburg, Virginia to meet the Confederate veterans. And when they got off the train in Harrisonburg, the first thing they did, these former Union soldiers, they marched to Woodbine Cemetery with the Confederates, and they gave a ceremony for the fallen Confederate soldiers. The newspaper at the time actually covered the event. They interviewed the northern perspective of what they thought about the event and the southern perspective. And it was just a beautiful time of reconciliation and coming together. But just to give you an idea of post-war sentiments in the Shenandoah Valley, the Confederate veterans had met with the former Union veterans, and they shared a meal together. So there's some cool history like that post-war, not just during the war, but post-war too. You know, the Shenandoah Valley was absolutely destroyed, and I've even heard some historians say that that the burning of the Shenandoah Valley by Sheridan was actually worse than Sherman's March to the Sea. There was a lot of stuff destroyed here. This was the breadbasket of the Confederacy. There were food stores, and divisions ran rampant. I mean, there were people that were pro-Unionists in this area. There were people that were strong Southerners. Of course, the Shenandoah Valley gave a lot of troops to the Confederate States of America, but you still had that element too in the Shenandoah Valley. So I don't want to get too much into Shenandoah Valley history, but I do want to show you some cool new stuff that I just got in.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, and actually, I literally just got these in the mail yesterday, and I was going to make a video for my newsletter, but this is a brand new buckle we just got in, and I shouldn't say it's brand new. We had these made, I don't know, a couple years ago. We ran out. I found another source for them, and the cool thing is the price on it. I'm only selling these for $25, and if you feel that thing, it's pretty weighty.
It is. It's thick.
It's a good quality buckle. I'm actually wearing mine right now, so I just put it on this morning to give it a test drive. And another cool thing, I've got a Stonewall Jackson lapel pin, which is super cool, brand new to our website, ConfederateShop.com.
Oh, nice. I love it. Excellent.
Yeah, that's my hero right there. And I finally got a book on John Bell Hood. I've had so many of my customers be like, do you have a book on Hood? I always didn't, but now I do. This is actually a distant relative of Hood too, Stephen Hood. So this will be available this weekend as well. That's going to be a good academic resource.
So a brand new book. Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
And he is buried there I went to his grave site there in Louisiana. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, that's hard to keep track. There were so many Confederate generals that, yeah. I mean, I hear names every once in a while, and it's like, I never heard of him, you know. We do have an encyclopedia on Confederate generals, too.
So last time I was here, you had just had those coins made.
Yes.
Do you mind sharing those as well?
Absolutely. So I think overall, the past few years, ever since they took down all of the monuments from Richmond, we started with the Richmond Monument Avenue series of coins, and then we branched off from there. And a lot of these are exclusive, meaning when I get them made, I'm not going to have any more made. The only ones that are actually going to be reproduced are going to be the Richmond Avenue, or the Monument Avenue series of coins from Richmond, Virginia. I also have various other monuments as well. We did one for the VMI Jackson statue that they moved from VMI to Newmarket Battlefield. We did one. We actually partnered with the Fame Preservation Group down in North Carolina. This is probably my favorite coin just because of the details on it. It was such a beautiful monument. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, Fame. Love fame, depicting an angel carrying a dying soldier up, Confederate soldier up to heaven.
Yeah, it's a great organization, Fame Preservation Group. So shout out to them. They're doing some really good work. Morning, Phil. How are you doing, sir?
Good. You take care of business.
Roger. One more coin. I'm doing a series for Texas. So this is the first coin in the Texas series.
Oh,
it's for the Dallas Monument.
Yes.
So one thing I didn't know, Texans are very, very proud of their state, but they're very, very proud of where they're from in Texas. So hopefully my friends from Houston and all the other locations that aren't from Dallas will still buy this, because it'll be a coin, an exclusive coin in a series.
Oh, I love this. This was, we knew it was going to be a rough time ahead when they removed this beautiful memorial that was in Pioneer Cemetery in downtown Dallas. I saw it before they removed it.
Really?
And they actually, you knew it was going to be bad when downtown Dallas actually removed a Confederate memorial, a war memorial from an actual cemetery. This is actually in a cemetery. And this took place way back in, it was covered up, I think, 2018, 19 time frame.
Yeah.
And that was all before even the whole George Floyd craziness.
Yeah. Well, Dallas is a pretty woke city, unfortunately, like a lot of our cities in America.
Oh, absolutely. So, and it's in storage. It's actually, you can see it from a road. It's in the back of some National Guard. As you pass by, you can see where the remnants of this memorial are. And it's been there for now over 5 years.
That's sad.
It's incredible what they've done there.
Well, there are a little over 700 Confederate memorials strewn throughout the United States. So they can't get all of them. I mean, even here locally, we have the obelisk in Woodbine Cemetery. In Luray, there are two Confederate monuments on Main Street. So they're everywhere. Turner Ashby Monument too. We had told you about that.
In fact, the over there in Woodbine in that Confederate section, like you said, there's about 250 to 300 soldiers that are buried there, and that memorial dates back to 1876, as I remember.
Yeah.
And
We've replaced 100 of those stones, Sons of Confederate Veterans.
This is actually, I did not plan this. This is my commander of the SCV camp, Colonel D.H. Lee, March Camp 10, Mr. Phil Way. He's done a lot for the cause over the years.
Oh, thank you,
I've been
sir.
commander 18 years, probably because nobody else wants the darn job.
It is a lot of work.
Well, once you get into doing things, you have a flow. Plus, you have wonderful members.
we can hear you better with this.
What do you want me to do with this?
Oh no, just hold it right there. So
Oh, yeah, it's the microphone.
You're a great resource. So thank you for all you've done as commander of this area.
Thank you. My group kind of concentrates on this area. Others have doing broader things, but we just had a picnic Saturday, and we had our core. A lot of core people were there. We had about 35 members for our picnic, and so we meet once a month, and so. Well, we did replace about 100 stones, give or take a couple. The cemetery made us go with original limestone stones, and we had a Rinker Fry in Mount Jackson, a memorial place, would go down there and pick up from the original mine. I mean, it had to be the exact same limestone, so they bring them up, and they work with us for an engraving. So we got a real good deal. So they're very helpful. So
Thank you. And it sounds like you still flag those as well.
well, we did. We put out the first national 6 days a year, but we used to put individual flags on the stones, but 4 or 5 years ago, we had 200 flags stolen.
Yeah.
So because it is a public cemetery, and we always ask permission for when we had services and when we put out flags, we as a group have decided that we don't want to have our stones damaged or any others.
Yeah.
So that's why we've refrained from that, although I work with Reeds Across America and put out Confederate flags in Dayton Cemetery, and I understand the UDC has put them out last year at the Woodbine Cemetery, the Reeds.
Well, thank you for holding those ceremonies.
Well, we should and there's been some confusion among the UDC. Some of the groups are really struggling with members now. We try like heck to work with them, but sometimes they're hard to get along with.
I understand. Thank you. Do you also help maintain the Turner Ashby Memorial? The site where he was
We
shot?
for many years did, and we do on Turner Ashby Day. We go up there and do the flag carrying the flag. So the honor guard. We've done every year.
Gentlemen, excuse me for a
They've
moment.
done every year, and we maintain for many years. If they need our help, yes, we do go up there and mulch and maintain that area for them. So, you know, it's had some damages.
Yes, I read about there was.
We've been trying to get them to allow us to repair that, but the UDC, as stubborn as they are, claim that the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield Foundation is going to donate some money and la-da-da and do all this, and they want to wait until the Shenandoah Valley builds a plexiglass wall around it, and I don't know that it hadn't occurred. I tried for 6 months talking to the ladies to get, we want to dedicate the money to fix it, but they haven't gotten around to letting us do it. We get a little frustrated with them, but we do everything we can.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did hear about that. That's some of the vandalism that occurred right there. Not too
May
long
I ask
ago.
who you're with, because I don't know.
So I shared on Dixie Forever, but I'm also an SEV camp in Virginia.
Okay, so is this going to be a public thing you're doing here? Or
Yes.
what? On radio, TV, what?
Yeah, well, it'll be on a place called Dixie Forever. And basically, I'll upload this to
Podcast?
YouTube.
All right.
Similar to that, yes.
But it's on the internet, not on normal TV.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, my wife does all that. I'm a flip phone guy. I'm a paint contractor, and I haven't found a computer or phone that helps me up the ladder. So I need a phone just to talk to people. So I let her deal with all those things.
Well, well, thank you, because I've been to that spot where Turner Ashby was mortally wounded or shot, and then of course it's right on the edge of James Madison University.
Yep.
And so I'm no surprise, got some of those woke students over there, what I call the American Taliban, who will come over and just try to vandalize everything they don't like.
About 10 years ago, the UDC worked with, it was owned by the Ladies Memorial Society, and the UDC went to court and got it put in their name because they were the outgrowth, UDC, United Daughters of the Confederacy, of the Ladies Memorial Society. So they went to court and got everything before JMU decided to grab the property. So we have 2 acres up there. So have you been there? You should go and see how close JMU is to it.
You talking about to the Turner Ashby
Yes.
site? Oh yes, absolutely. I've been to both those sites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this guy gets around, Phil. You've recorded nearly every monument that you've come across throughout the states.
Yeah, I've been to almost every single Confederate memorial in the
That's
country.
wonderful.
And most of them many times. But there's still a few, and I'll continue to do that for my entire life.
Is there anything up at Madison, Virginia, up near Culpeper?
Yes.
Okay.
I love that memorial.
Bill Graham is, I don't know, I can't tell you the name of the Sons of Confederate Veterans camp, but Bill Graham's the commander up there, and he comes to a lot of our ceremonies and sessions that we have. Was at our picnic. He's a wealth of information. So anyway, I've been commander for 18 years. So as I said, my main campaign speech is I'm loud enough I don't need a microphone, and I get us out of there by 9 o'clock, because we had one commander who would drag things on, and we're all old guys, so we need to go home. So that's Matt's been a good member, and he's busy now.
Good
with
standing, although I've missed quite a few meetings.
Well,
I do
he's-
plan on getting back involved once things settle down with family and
his
business.
father also. Do you know his father, Rex,
Yes.
and the flag flying?
I haven't talked to him much, but yeah, I know enough about it.
Well, if you go down whatever the road between between Timberville and
Yeah, 211, Route 211 between Newmarket and Timberville.
there you'll see his battle flag flying.
Yeah,
his
we've had a
father's
battle flag flying there for 20, 30 years. That's my home place. That's where I grew up, right,
Well, it's
right
still-
along the North Fork Shenandoah River.
As far as I know, it's still flying.
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
and it's always going to be flying
Yeah.
too. Even
He
when Dad.
he had he told me one time I did some work for him that he always got deliveries by truck, I don't know, UPS, and he was waiting for some books and they didn't come. And they called and they said, well, this black driver came down and saw the flag and he was afraid to stop. So he didn't bring the delivery. That's what
Well, it's a shame.
Rex
There's a
told me.
lot of ignorance like that, and usually if I can get to talking to somebody, because I get all sorts of customers in here, and you'd be surprised. A lot of black individuals that come in, they want to know more about the history, or they say, you know, I don't really know about this. Tell me more. You know, it's kind of rare when I run into somebody who has that vitriol and real hatred in their
Yes.
heart towards this stuff.
So as you know, I've traveled around. I've been to a lot of Confederate-related stores. I've been to a lot of flag sites. Every single one of them says they have black folks come and stop by their door to say how much they appreciate that flag out there. They go in their store and tell them how much they love that store, and they go and buy just as much stuff as everybody else.
Yeah, I have customers like that too. So, yeah.
And we're open. We have our meetings open to the public, and we have a pretty good core group that come to our
Yeah.
meetings. And I said all my officers are loyal and hardworking. And the core of it all to me is I try to run a meeting professionally, but also with some stories and some laughter, and everybody gets to speak up and say things. And I try to spread all the jobs around as much as I can. And if I praise people, I mean, we had one commander who was ex-military, and he wanted us all to wear uniforms and salute every day, and change all the rules, blah blah blah, and no joking or anything. And I think I try to be opposed to that. So I mean, it's a volunteer group. It's supposed to be entertaining and fun and history.
So you've been an SCV commander now for
18 years.
That's impressive. Thank you so much.
Well,
That
thank
is
you.
awesome. That is incredible.
I really think nobody else wants the job. But
I don't know.
maybe
I might take you up on that eventually, but I have to show all the members that I'm a faithful member and I'm active. And
Well, that's
I
a
haven't
good point
been
too. And there
like
are
that in a little
people
while.
ahead. One guy said, "Well, I think I'd like to be commander," because I always offer it open when we have voting. And there are people in line. There's vice commander that's been vice
Well, that's
commander for
good.
15
That's good.
years, and my adjutant's been there my whole term. And so there are other people that you might have to. Have an election
Tim would be a
for.
good pick, in my opinion. I really like Tim. He's a good member.
Well, Tim
Y'all don't know him.
Tim is wonderful with computers and paperwork. He's not necessarily a good public speaker.
Oh, okay.
He says, I'm not
Yeah.
saying he isn't, but he is very soft-spoken when it comes to and I'm not. I'm full of bull no matter what you need before. I can tell you a story whether it's true or not. So, and I always said in my youth, I was never had any money, was never good looking, but I was always charming. So, Paul Newman said, that goes back to 1963 in a black and white movie, HUD, and he told his grandson, "Yeah, your father and I chased a lot of girlish butts that summer." So, and that's in a Paul Newman movie, so it from 60 years ago. So it can't be too bad to say.
Right.
So we'd love to have you around. Come to our meeting. We don't have a meeting till the 22nd, the fourth Monday. You're welcome to come.
Thank you.
And are you going to be around here that long or not?
No, I am traveling towards Saltville because there's the reenactment of Saltville is going to be this upcoming weekend. But I am going to be back for the Virginia Flaggers picnic over at Lee Jackson Park, and I will be back around for there's a few other occasions coming up too.
Well, I'm website. You can, Colonel D.H. Lee March Camp 10. If you look that up, my phone number's in there as commander. My last name is Way, W-A-Y. It's so easy, it's hard.
I come to think of it, I think I talked to you about 4 or 5 years ago. I wanted to go see. It was a time when I wanted to go see the Turner Ashby monument, and it was blocked off in the front, and I want to be respectful, so I think I called you for permission.
Well, and I always appreciate that. Of course, we try to keep everything open as we can in public, but in defense of Woodbine, we actually, on the anniversary of his death, that would have been in 14, put one of those bronze Confederate markers in for Colonel D.H. Lee March. He's buried up there. And Jones, the only Harrisonburg general, lived, I think his home was across the, if I remember the book, across the street from Woodbine, is buried over there, and some other veterans. His daughter, he had a black daughter. His wife was always sickly, and the housekeeper had a daughter by General Jones, who fell out with leadership and resigned his generalship in 1863. It's in the records. And anyway, there was a nice book written by his granddaughter, called the General's Granddaughter or something. It's an interesting story. You can find that maybe in some of the museums in town, like Rocktown, the one in Dayton. So, and that's a good museum to go to. So.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, I've really enjoyed talking to you. I'm so glad you came here.
Well, thank you. I had no intention of running into you.
Are you looking for those?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find them, and I'll give you a call today.
Okay.
Because I think I can.
You got two things. Will claims Will Shirky, who broke one time and got another one. He got it here.
Mm-hmm.
And he made some reference. Well, I'll come in and do it, but Will is very enthusiastic, but he's often gets to a meeting 5 minutes before it's over because keeping up. Luckily, his wife Nanette's wonderful. She keeps up with time and everything. But anyway, don't let him order another one.
Okay.
So
don't let him order another one.
Right. No, I'm ordering this one for me.
So we'll make a transition over here, and we'll come back to Matt here in just a little bit. But here we are, once again, in Crossroads Country Store here in Shenandoah Heritage Market. Here just near Dayton, Virginia, just south of Harrisonburg, Virginia. It's a store I always love coming through and seeing whenever I'm in the area. So this is definitely worth stopping by and visiting. So we'll walk through here in just a little bit, but you can see just a incredibly large selection of books here, the largest I've seen in any Confederate related store. And maybe we'll walk through here in just a little bit and take a look at those. But a lot of cool merchandise as well. So for example, you see the different kinds of...
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
And call me if you ever need me. And remind me that what was out here, because I'm a hell of a name.
Thank you, Wade. Thank you so much. I love talking to you.
Phil Way. Yeah, Philip Way. Phil Way. So it's so easy, it's hard. Just tell them. Way, I have to spell it for everybody. They never want to spell that way. Thank you. Please order that and see if you can get it to me in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
I'll come right up here. How's your family?
Everybody's good, man. Everybody's happy and healthy.
Let's see the babies.
So lots of different odds and ends things. I'm sure many of you will appreciate the things that are here, including you see the different types of mugs. You see different playing cards right here. You see different stickers right through here.
I'm 78 years old, so I'm glad to get out and do it. This is my wife. Good talking to you, man.
You too, Phil. Thanks, sir. That was a pleasant surprise. I haven't seen him in a little while, so yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, Phil's a good man. He's
So
led the camp for years.
Camp commander here
Camp
in this
commander.
area for 18 years, and sends Confederate veterans. That's awesome.
Yeah, he has some rich family history from the Valley. So yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there any items that you had a question about, or any books?
Quickly going through, and so if anybody's coming through here, once again, for those of you just joining us, we're at the Crossroads.
Yeah, Crossroads Country Store, located inside the Shenandoah Heritage Market. Really, the best way to find us if you live across the country is on ConfederateShop.com. So that's us. Yeah, I do most of my order packing right here behind the counter while I'm working the store. So, yeah.
And I think most folks who are watching this are very familiar with that. Your online store.
Probably, yeah. Since 2012, I've had that project and tried to expand it and build it. And we have a newsletter every week, which is my favorite thing to do. It takes a lot to put that thing together. Yeah, if you want to subscribe to our newsletter, go on our website homepage, scroll all the way down to the bottom, put in your email, and every week, once a week, Fridays, Saturdays, we'll send an email out with new items. And,
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so once again, and for those who are traveling through this area, once again, this is on the south side of Harrisonburg,
Yep.
Virginia,
Yep.
in the Shenandoah Valley, close to Dayton, Virginia, in this market area. And
Yes. Yeah. Get off Interstate 81, exit 243, head south. We're really right in between Route 11 and 81. I mean, 81's right out our back door. Route 11's right out our front door. So it's just pretty easy to find. Yeah.
One other little historical thing, because we started this out by talking briefly, just tip of the iceberg, some of the historical stuff around here.
Yeah.
So one of those things was, Phil, one of the things we didn't talk about was Dayton being saved, because the story, and let me know if you have anything to add, but as I understand, Sheridan was coming through here, and one of his engineers was a guy named Meigs, who was the son of that famous Union general, who
Yeah.
ended up leading all the efforts for all the burials at Arlington National Cemetery,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So in fact, there's a gravesite to him there at Arlington National Cemetery, Robert E. Lee's former estate. But anyways, his son was killed here under Sheridan when he ran across Confederate scouts.
Yeah.
And Sheridan assumed that they were civilian bushwhackers, as I understand. And he ordered that every house and structure within 3-mile radius was burned down here in Dayton,
Yeah.
right here
That's
in this
kind of like
area.
retribution. Yeah.
Yes. And in that case, it was saved because the guy who received that order refused to follow those orders. And there's a plaque downtown Dayton to this Union lieutenant colonel who
Yeah.
refused to start burning down the houses. He burned down all the other structures. They burned down all the other farms and everything else, like they did. There's thousands
Yeah.
of buildings that were destroyed through here.
Oh
right?
yeah, it was terrible. I mean, this was a horrible time, late war with Sheridan. He destroyed quite a few things. And the story of Meigs is kind of convoluted. Like most of our history, you hear this typical Yankee narrative, where the Southern folks and the Confederates were at fault. But I have historical accounts from people who were there that verify that Meigs pulled his pistol before Confederates killed him, because as the story goes, he was killed in cold blood. So there are little stories like that in the Shenandoah Valley. Another one I want to share with you, I've shared this on my YouTube channel too, in Woodstock, Virginia, not too far from here. There was a young boy who was special needs. He was out squirrel hunting in the forest. His name was Davy Getz. And poor Davy got captured by some Union soldiers. He was marked as a bushwhacker, and at the time, I guess by their laws, if you didn't have a Confederate uniform on and you were a bushwhacker, they could hang you. And so that's what they intended to do. They intended to kill him. At the time, the entire town practically, many of which were pro-Unionists, came to Custer, who was in charge of that area at the time, and they told Custer, they said, look, Davy's special needs, like, why are you guys going to kill him? And he said, yeah, we're going to kill him. Nothing you can do about it. I'm talking the townspeople, the preacher of the church, I can't remember the church right now off the top of my head, the mayor of the town, all kind of spoke for Davy and tried to save his life. And anyway, they marched Davy from Woodstock, tied up behind a wagon, all the way to Dayton, made him dig his own grave, and killed him in cold blood. So at the time, the minister that tried to talk to Custer said, Custer, you're going to die in a bloody grave for what you're doing here. And what happens soon after? Battle Little Bighorn, and Custer himself gets slaughtered. But it's just kind of a telling story. It's a unique story that you don't hear very often. You wouldn't hear in mainstream history books, but it's a local story here in the valley. So there's a lot of little stories like that. Abraham Lincoln's cousin
Good point.
was a
Yes.
Confederate bushwhacker here in the Shenandoah Valley, and he said, Cousin Abe keeps sending them down, and I keep killing them. So.
In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's a historical marker not too far from here. It speaks about how Union soldiers were going through and starting to burn things, and one of them was Abraham Lincoln's distant cousin, and she argued, and she claimed that her property should be preserved because she is a cousin of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
In fact, it was not too long ago, not too far from here, is the place where all his ancestors were here in Virginia.
You know, speaking of that, I've got a really cool book. I don't want to tell you all about every single item in my shop, but I do have a book on the legitimacy of Lincoln's birth. Was Lincoln an actual Lincoln? A lot of people believe he was an Enlow. And funny thing is, I actually had some Enlow ancestors from North Carolina that were descended from the Enlows that we're speaking of. And they said, yeah, our family's told this story for generations, that we're actually the ones truly related to Lincoln. So if you're into that kind of stuff, more conspiratorial, this is a very fascinating book. Howard Ray White's a great historian. So obviously we have a ton of books on Lincoln, the truth about Lincoln. And that's kind of where we start too. Like when I start talking to people about the causes of this war, Lincoln's a great place to start because the lies can be dismantled so easily. And you notice I got a wanted poster over there of Lincoln? That poster right there, over here, gets people so enraged. You know, it's really a joke, but I had so many people get offended and hurt by this, and I get it. You know, we're all kind of raised with this narrative that he's the next thing to George Washington. So I went ahead and I pass out a free pamphlet of Abraham Lincoln's actual quotes. You want to know what he believed about race? You want to believe what he said? You want to know what he said about slavery? And all of these are cited right down below, so you can look up the sources for yourself. But anyway, that's why we're all about education here with this stuff.
I love that. Abraham Lincoln in his own words. Wait, do they have the 2026?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Whoa, they brought this back?
They finally brought it back.
Whoa, they haven't produced one of these for several years.
Probably 3 years, 4 years. Last year we had to get the Yankee calendar. Those are marked down because 2025 is almost over. But
oh wow!
I've got a good stockpile of these now, so if people want them, they can get them.
Okay, I'll be one of them.
Yeah.
I used to buy those for all my kids.
Yeah.
Always a great Christmas present for the next year.
It is, and it has all the dates too on it for the different battles, generals who birthdays, special occasions that were related to the war. So yeah.
So a lot of great merchandise here.
Oh yeah.
So everything from mugs, cards.
I've got these are little tins. Not tin. They feel more like lead. They're heavy metal, hand painted soldiers, super collectible. Been selling those for years. These right here. I didn't think these were going to sell. A friend of mine was like, those are going to be a great item. And I was like, I don't know if people really want a Confederate gnome, but we've got them. So, and I sell a lot of these things. You'd be surprised. They're kind of cute to sit on your mantle at home, above your fireplace or something.
Yeah, I love it.
I've been coming out with a ton of new coffee mugs as well. Shout out to Judy Smith, by the way.
Oh,
Judy
yes.
Smith Photography. She allowed us to use her artwork here, and so we've got a beautiful coffee mug of her.
Oh, Judy Smith. Oh, thank God for Judy Smith.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, she has captured so many invaluable photos of all these historic special places. We'll be looking at her photos till the end of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
She went through there, Monument Avenue, and all those monuments. She has some of the best photos of Monument Avenue.
I know she does.
And so many monuments and so many historic places all over Virginia.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, like I said, I don't know the exact number. It's between 700 to 800 different Confederate memorials and monuments strewn all throughout the United States.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So your work is cut out for you. There's some cool history attached to all of them. So,
Yeah,
and new ones coming up.
In fact, one of the places I wanted to go see was went over in Finn Castle, Botorts. So they tore the entire courthouse down. The whole courthouse is removed, and from what I've seen, they have live videos. You can see live images and live video of that site 24/7, And it looks like they've left the monument alone when I checked last week.
Well, that's good.
So I'm hoping they do. Some people are suggesting they might remove the monument and move it on the back side, but it's not going to be put in storage, thankfully.
Yeah, well, you probably heard about Charlottesville. I don't know if your viewers know about this. It's more recent. They did destroy the Stonewall Jackson Charlottesville monument. So we heard about the Lee, the Washington compost covered that, and you remember when they melted down the Robert E. Lee statue?
I sure do.
And the face of Lee was on complete fire. It was orange.
Oh yeah.
They've now cut up the Stonewall Jackson statue from Charlottesville.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, that's brand new. I mean, I heard that 48 hours ago.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Those freaking Taliban, I swear those people are
Yeah.
disgusting. How pathetic can you be?
No, really. And the thing that really offends me is the fact that Jackson was such a devout man of God. Like his whole life was governed by his faith. His faith that was so strong that he got the name Stonewall from standing on the battlefield amongst fire, standing there like a stone wall. When he was asked, General, how can you remain so calm? He said, my faith teaches me to feel as calm and safe in battle as in bed. And his whole life was governed by that. He was a good man. He had a Sunday school class group that were African Americans that he taught how to read the Bible. Throughout his whole career, he gave, not his whole career, but his military career while in the Confederacy, he still gave money to that Sunday school. So I feel like if these people would really dive into these characters and really see the integrity and virtue that these men genuinely possessed, they might not be trying to destroy our history so much. But to me, it's especially offensive against Jackson because he was such a good man.
Amen.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That is outrageous. They actually destroyed that monument too. Well, I went through Charlottesville yesterday, and I stopped by the Lewis and Clark monument that was removed. I found that. It's just it's kind of sitting on the ground in the back, behind a place where hardly anybody will see it. But we all know they didn't just remove the Robert E. Lee monument at Lee Plaza and destroyed it, like I said, melted down, but also the Stonewall Jackson one that was on the Albemarle County Courthouse grounds. And also they removed the Confederate memorial that was there also in the Albemarle County Courthouse grounds as well. Thankfully, that's the only silver lining. At least that was in the New Market. They repurposed it. It's no longer dedicated to Albemarle. They took off one of the sides and dedicated to general Virginia soldiers. But also, they also removed the memorial to Lewis and Clark, Sacagawea, and also George Clark, and also renamed the schools there as well. They renamed the school named after Roger Clark, who was an American Revolutionary War hero.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just kind of crazy.
It is crazy, and it's really postmodern ideology that that kind of is attacking. Well, not kind of is really attacking our history. It's not just Confederate history. It's early American history too, because Thomas Jefferson really founded the University of Virginia. He put Charlottesville on the map. Commissioned Lewis and Clark. So they're doing all they can in Charlottesville to destroy the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, who, the author of the Declaration of Independence, one of our great American founders. And that's kind of the logic these people have, is they say, well, your symbols stand for hate and racism, trying to make others think that there's nothing good about our heritage. I don't believe our symbols are hateful or even evil. The association they always try to put on us with it being connected to slavery almost suggests that there's nothing good about our heritage and culture. There are so many beautiful things about our heritage and culture, especially connected to these individuals who sacrificed their lives, willing to put everything on the line, like Robert E. Lee at Arlington at his home, Arlington.
Yeah.
He knew if he would join the Confederacy, there was a good chance, his home being right across the river from Washington, that he was never going to see his beautiful home again. His home that was full of relics that came from George Washington himself,
Exactly.
because he was connected to that family. So these are facts that people they have no clue about. And one thing I want to say about our Southern history and heritage, to try to appeal to those who absolutely hate us, is that post-war, especially right after Reconstruction, there was a huge effort amongst even former Union veterans, presidents, President William McKinley, who himself was a Union veteran, to try to bring the country back together. They themselves honored the Confederate soldier and chose to say, you know what, we're going to allow you to honor your Southern heroes, and we're going to bring the country back together. So that, to me, that part of history is an appeal to those who oppose us, that say, you can't remember them, they're traitorous and treasonous to the United States. Well, you know, I don't know about that. Like I said, the former Union veterans themselves oftentimes were very sentimental to the Confederate soldier and the Confederate cause, and believed that they should honor it as part of American history. So, yeah.
I love it. I love your commentary there. That's why we need to have more videos from you.
I'll try.
And you've shared videos. You've been sharing videos here sporadically, here and there, right? From things you've read and just some commentary. I love your commentary. So I hope you continue to do that.
Thank you, sir.
So the best place to go to your videos and listen to your videos.
We have a YouTube channel, Confederate Shop's YouTube channel. I mean, if you just go on YouTube and probably type in Confederate Shop.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a little bit tech savvy, but I'm not trying to expand my channel to make it ginormous. I just want to get this information and history out there and give the reference back to our website in case people want to learn more history. One thing I want to say too, I'm working on a project right now, because we get a lot of questions in our shop, you know, the significance of the secession documents or Alexander Stephens' cornerstone speech. We hear the typical lines. And what I'm doing is I'm putting a resource together that's going to be all sourced and cited information where anybody can go to my website, click on the question they have, and it gives a Southern perspective answer.
Love it.
And I'll probably put a QR code on a business card and pass that out. And it's going to be, I think right now I've got about 50 different questions, the most common questions that we get. So it's going to be a good reference to give out. So I'm super excited about that.
That is well overdue. And I'm sure you have books that are kind of like that to a point.
Oh, I do.
But like you said, piggybacking on some of the things you said, they're not just coming after what I call the woke Mayo Marxist, in my opinion. The people who want to the cancel culture, the people who want to just erase and remove any reminders of any of anybody who's lived in the past. It includes our founding fathers as well. So you mentioned Thomas Jefferson, and so no surprise that they did rename the school named after Thomas Jefferson there in Northern Virginia, and also remove the name of George Mason, who was a father of our Bill of Rights. And they also renamed the school, removed the name of George Wythe, who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. It also removed the name of also Thomas Nelson, who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. So we all know it's not just Confederate things they're coming after.
No.
But I think they know that the Confederacy in many ways were the standard bearers, were the heirs of the ideals of our founding fathers, the Constitution.
Amen. Amen. I was doing more research on that recently, talking with a good friend of ours, Dr. John White, and he was giving me references of the role of the federal government. You know, when it's not explicitly stated within the U.S. Constitution, the right is reserved to the states. That's the 10th Amendment. There are many founders, James Madison, the author of the Constitution, who actually mentioned that. But yeah, what changed after 1865 is we're no longer a nation of sovereign states. We're a consolidated government. It's more of a centralized power that really since then has morphed into more of an empire of what we have today. And so, a lot of modern day conservatives, neoconservatives, get it wrong. You know, when they praise Lincoln and all the stuff that came in after him. You know, so we're trying to educate people on that. And like I said, many people are resistant to it because I know what it's like. I grew up around knowing about these people, and so you believe that Lincoln was this great hero. He was this great emancipator, and it's almost like it feels wrong if you try to criticize him. But when you take a microscope and look at these people's lives, you start to learn a lot of stuff that goes against the grain of what you were taught. So.
Amen. Well, I was taught the same stuff. Well, did Did you want to walk through here and share some of the books? So just quickly make a transition. So once again, a lot of great merchandise and things to visit. There's a lot of things through here as well.
Oh yeah.
A lot of different coins and Christmas ornaments and necklaces and everything, earrings, and I got to get some more of these. I like these static cling flags.
Yeah, that's an item I don't have on my website. I need to get those on my website.
Those are great. In fact, I got one on my bathroom mirror because you can just stick it there and you pull it off if you need to. And all, everything from bookmarks to all the kinds of different picture frames, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's an item I don't have on my website either. It's kind of difficult to source the print itself, and then trying to ship them is a whole nother story.
Looks like you just sold a picture.
Yeah, that's a John Paul Strain Turner Ashby.
I love it. Some beautiful paintings, pictures up here on the wall. You got a Pride of the South,
Oh yeah.
Shenandoah National Park, Opoly. Some Confederate ribbons right there. Did you want to transition over to the books?
Yeah, sure.
Because you have the largest selection of books I think I've seen for Confederate related, Southern related.
Yeah, it's grown over the years, although we lose a lot of books oftentimes. Publishers will quit printing them. They'll go in as academic sources, and they're very hard to get a hold of. So we're always adding in new books too. For every book, I could tell you something about it, just because this is my specialty. So a lot of these I've read, some of them I haven't. Every one I've looked through, read at least some of each book. We try to screen our books before we get them in stock.
Oh, secession speakers, Lees, adjutants, Quantrells, awesome Confederate Regular Army, Miss Grant's failed presidency, the Great Revival of Southern Armies, Stonewall Jackson's Valley Campaign. Oh, American Terrorists, Lincoln's Armies in the South, the Mortal 600, Punished with Poverty. Anything you want to highlight through here?
Oh man. Well, this is the kind of, this section right here is all about war crimes and prison camps. That's a whole nother subject. Civil War prison camps. A lot of times the Federal soldiers, they had the supplies, they had the blankets, they had the medicine, yet they frequently did not give those things to the Confederate soldiers in the prison camps. So many of these places were a place of horrors, really. And then, we have some cool books over here. A lot of these are from Shotwell Press, which is the academic arm of the Abbeville Institute, or the publishing arm of the Abbeville Institute. There are a bunch of great academics over there. Here's an account of what did the former slaves and the slaves during the time have to say about Sherman's army moving through their homes. So you get you don't have to listen to some Confederate or pro-Confederate Southerner talking about Sherman. You can get it from the slaves. So this is genuine, real history. Yeah. So I've got books on all sorts of subjects, talking about American slavery, talk about the different individuals who might have served the different people groups. You had the 5 civilized tribes, Stan Wadey and his Confederate Indians. We've got one in particular, one book here that I will highlight that I think is a very, very valuable resource. A Southside View of Slavery. This was printed in 1854, and Nehemiah Adams, the author of that book, was a Massachusetts pastor. He was also very anti-slavery. Now, he wasn't an abolitionist. He wasn't one of these Unitarian, transcendental, radical abolitionists that wanted to incite race war and murder to end slavery. He was an anti-slavery Northerner pastor. And he traveled down south, and he interviewed different plantation owners. He visited different homes. He visited towns. He observed different slave fraternal organizations. They might have a town, a group of individuals who would fight fires. But he records all his findings in this book. And what's really cool about this piece of history is it goes very much against the radical abolitionist narrative at the time, which is what made that book at the time very controversial. And his premise was look, if we want to end American slavery down south, we don't need to make an enemy of the Southerner. We need to make him a friend, and we need to build some understanding. So he gives his findings, his truthful findings, and he shares his sentiments of how he is against American slavery. But it's just a really cool book, so I would recommend it. It's actually a pretty easy read too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to read that one too.
Yeah, and man, I could talk about any number of these. Yeah, there's so much history. And you know, I keep learning because I'll have individuals, authors, historians themselves, just visitors come by, and we'll get into conversations, and I'll learn tidbits of history that, you know, I had no clue about myself. This is the theological section. I've got some good theological books here, and then I've got an early American history section, especially for the anniversary of the American Revolution, which we're in right now. So some beautiful books over here.
I love it. It really should be no surprise that many of the descendants and relatives of our famous founding fathers supported the Confederacy. And that includes George Washington didn't have any biological kids, but all of his closest family members, all of his relatives support the Confederacy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you have time for another story, one of the stories I like to tell people is the national anthem written by Francis Scott Key. Well, during the war, his grandson, Francis Key Howard, was a newspaper editor in Baltimore at the time, and he opposed the Lincoln administration. Unbeknownst to many people, with Lincoln's suspension of the writ of habeas corpus, his regime would imprison quite a few northern civilians for simply speaking out against his administration. He suspended freedom of speech. Lincoln did. One of those individuals was Francis Scott Key's grandson, Francis Key Howard. The interesting thing, the ironic thing, is Francis Key Howard was imprisoned in the same location where his grandfather wrote the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. When I tell that to people, they're like, huh? That's the kind of history you start to discover, you know?
I love that. In fact, I've been over to Fort McHenry, and if you go into the case, there's a display there speaking about that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's still there, speaking about the irony that Francis Scott Key's own grandson was imprisoned there. He wasn't even a soldier, he was civilian, just because of his opinions of something. So once again, the Union soldiers, Yankees, came in and knocked on his door and pulled him out of his own house.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that happening again?
Well, it's happened before, right? History does repeat itself. That's why it's important to remember our history and not forget it. Can't know where you are unless you know where you came from. So and people are welcome to disagree with us. You know, I had a kid in here the other week, and he said, I don't really like these symbols. I said, okay, I mean, that's fine. You don't have to like them, but all I'm saying is maybe, just maybe, you've been lied to. Maybe there's something you don't know. Maybe there's a different perspective, and I think that's what used to be a key thing for the American academic system, is that we were willing to question certain things. And if you question something and you have evidence to back it up, why can't you be heard with that information?
Amen. I love it.
So, yeah.
And so you got a section over here. Looks like some children related right here.
Oh yeah, these are historical reprints, and these are fantastic. These are great books. I just did a review on this one this week, and beautiful hardback book from Sprinkle Publications.
That's pretty.
This thing has some really nice illustrations in it, and it's got some colored ones in it too. So kids, this is perfect for a kid.
I love it.
Yeah.
Flags of the Confederacy, American History for Homeschools. Oh, this is a great book too, right? Because it has a collection of a lot of things.
Oh yeah, that's a phenomenal resource. Again, a lot of the historians that are connected in producing this are connected to the Abbeville Institute, which is like I said, a phenomenal academic organization. These guys, I'm not an academic. I'm not a real historian. I wouldn't classify myself as that. But these guys who put this resource together, they're genuine academics with the degrees behind their name, and they know a lot. I consult them a lot when I have history questions myself. So.
Love it. Yeah, I think there was just a new version of Defending Dixieland, or
I've got it on the way. I've got it on
the
the
new
way.
version of
Actually,
it?
I might have it at my warehouse right now, and I'll probably put it up Friday. So
That's great.
yeah, I'm super excited about featuring that new book.
So some other things over here. It looks like I got General Nathan Bedford Forrest right there.
Actually, we don't do this very often, but that's on consignment from a good friend of mine, another historian, Bill Potter. He's from Winchester. Bill's a great guy, and yeah, he wanted to put that up, and I said, yeah, I'll put it up on my wall. It'll take up, some space that needs to be covered anyway.
You got Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee right there. Different frame prints right here, double matted prints. Nice little, of course,
Yeah.
really nice painting portrait of Stonewall Jackson. Oh, Ballard and Gray, another great book.
One of my favorites.
Well, of course, these are all great books, right? Yeah, oh, and some of the area, through this area, some of the history of this
Hey,
area.
can you pardon me for a moment? Let
Oh,
me
you
see
bet.
if this customer here, give you that.
Absolutely. So many other great books through here. So, Chaplains in Gray. In fact, if you're ever over there in Lynchburg, you can go over there to Liberty University, and there is a Chaplains Museum. It used to be the Civil War Chaplains Museum, and there was all kinds of artifacts, relics, displays for mostly entirely Confederate chaplains there. And they moved it, and they got rid of a lot of it. They used to have the flags on display there, and they still have a large one of the Resurrection Morning, a large mural of that. So that prompted me to reminded me of that. A nice Polk book right here. Lowry, Stonewall Jackson, Preachers, Stonewall Jackson and the Preachers, Stonewall Jackson the Pastor, Stonewall Jackson the Spiritual Side. Over here, so just looking at some random books. Got some customers coming through here. We've been trying to be respectful as we can. Got Virginia's Confederate Monuments. Of course, I've got this book as well. Got quite a few of these books. And I was just picking through, made sure I saw every single one. In fact, I think I saw the last one just recently. There was one in Weiss County that I couldn't find for quite a long time. I finally found it. Some people like scavenger hunt, some people like to do Where's Waldo, some people like to do geocaching. I like to find monuments. Generals at Rest, another great book I've got. Slowly but surely trying to make it all to those. Southerners at Rest. All right, it's making a transition over here. Of course, there is also through this area that you can find some shirts. I won't be reconstructed. I don't care a damn. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk back. I'm gonna walk out here for a little bit, and then I'll return. There's some customers over here. There's a section I wanted to go see, and I'm just trying to be respectful and not interfere with the customers that are here. But of course, there's another section over here. So I'm gonna walk over this way. Of course, different hats here. Don't try it on me. See the Gaston Make Dixie great again. Selection of different flags, of course. Awesome. There's the 52 by 52 Army of Northern Virginia flag. South Carolina flag right there. This is beautiful as well, isn't it? That wood. I bought one just like that last time I was here. Different stickers through here, lots of different options for different flags. Different flag stickers right through here. All right. I'll tell you what, Matt, it's been wonderful talking to you.
You too, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your platform. Yeah.
I'm just so glad this is all impromptu. I just called you up just half an hour before I arrived, and this is just spur of the moment. I gave you a call and said, hey, you mind if I made over here and just chat, just walk around, talk about whatever?
Yeah.
And
anytime you want to do that, you're more than welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love the way you present things. You're so well spoken, so very kind, so very nice, so very knowledgeable. You are a great reference. I'll tell you what, I strongly encourage everybody, if they're ever in the Shenandoah Valley, ever coming through this area, Harrisonburg area, just once again, just north of Lexington, right?
Yep.
But if you're ever around here, you got to stop in here once again.
Harrisonburg, Virginia. It's kind of right in the middle of Shenandoah Valley.
Awesome. Loved your shop. We haven't seen anything. This is kind of tip of the iceberg, just kind of roaming around. We could have spent all days and days here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love talking history. I mean, this is kind of what I do every day, day in and day out, especially with the history books. Like I said, I learn so much myself, and that's the fun thing about this subject is you never stop learning. I'm more interested in the personal lives of the individuals and the politics of the war than I would be maybe the strategy or battles of the war. But I run into all sorts of people, so I learn all sorts of things.
Well, and that's why I think it would be so much fun being in your position, talking to all the different folks that come through here, a lot of like-minded folks. Once again, once in a while, some folks who just haven't quite learned it all, right? They've had a different perspective.
Haters. Yeah, we do get those. We get some. Occasionally, I get a real-life troll, but it's rare. But it's good. You know, you have to have those kind of hard times to teach you stuff about yourself too. And but we do get some haters. We get a lot more people who are encouraging, a lot more people who thank us for having this. So
love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I've loved coming here. Well, talking to you again, and I'll be back again sometime.
All right, anytime.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go finish up over here, just walking around, show one last look at the outside of the store, and then show briefly, and then walk outside.
Okay, sounds good, my friend.
Talk to you again soon.
Yep, bye.
Bye. All right, once again, we are here at the Crossroads Country Store. I encourage you to come here if you're ever around. The Crossroads Country Store right here, and neat little place. You can walk through here, all kinds of this. That's just one shop, right? The timeless toys right through here. Another neat little store right through here. That's the Western Apparel horse equipment through here. It's more like a fabric type store right through here. Love coming through here. I'm gonna go see the popcorn guy in a little bit. Stop by this little bakery store, this little cafe right over here. Get some. Hello.
Hi.
Here's the Hungry Farmer Country Cafe. I think I might stop here in just a little bit. What a great place to stop to get something to eat here. Here's an antique store right through here. What I'll do is I'll walk back through here in just a little bit. Just kind of walking through this, once again, this is Shenandoah Heritage type market. I'll finish this video up from the outside. Here is the Country Canner. A lot of neat little things through here. It's handcrafted glass. This is the Creekside Gifts. Kinds of candy and things right here. This is Jeff's PX store. This is the Grandma's Pantry right over here. Of course, down here is there's an antique store right through here. Always love antique stores. Excuse me. All right, I'm gonna start heading outside. So one last look over here. This is where we were just at. And I'm gonna walk outside. Love coming through here. Great place to shop. Great place to spend the day. And there's a friend. I always buy some popcorn from him whenever I'm here. I've been here quite a few times before. So walking out to the front. Hey, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I'm doing a quick little video. I'm just finishing up. This was called the Shenandoah
Heritage Market.
Heritage Market.
No, yeah, Shenandoah Heritage Market. It used to be Shenandoah Farmers Market.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna pick up. I love this popcorn.
Okay.
I just started a video when I was in there, mainly at Crossroads Country Store.
Right.
And just to advertise, promote it, help encourage people to come over here, let them know this is a great place to stop in. And if they're ever over here, they got to get some of your popcorn.
Well,
I love it.
Thank you so much.
So I'll get some here on the way out. All right, so once again, just finishing up where I started. Well, no, actually, starting out here at the front. See the beautiful countryside off in the distance. It's a beautiful day out here in the Shenandoah Valley. All right, so once again, Shenandoah Heritage Market here on the north, just south of Harrisonburg. So take care, y'all.